Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the positive side of incarceration, or breaking the revolving door syndrome. And of course, we're fortunate to have with us this morning to talk about the positive side of incarceration and how we might break the so-called revolving door syndrome, Pastor KWalker. And of course, Pastor Walker is not only a pastor, but he's also the president of the New Beginnings organization, which is an inmate organization that is located within the Riverbend maximum security facilities at Nashville, Tennessee. And of course, Reverend Walker, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Well, thank you, Dr. Haney. I'm glad to be here.
And to tell you how glad we are to have you here, because we've had you on a number of occasions, and each time you bring us excellent information, and especially the kind of information that is not always readily available. Because I think, as you admitted yourself, that when a man is incarcerated, we follow him all the way up to the prison door, and then we forget about him. And so that's what we want to do today, to remember those individuals that are incarcerated, and to perhaps have you to give us some information that might keep others from following them into that situation. So before we get into that, Reverend Walker, let's talk about you.
Okay.
For those of our audience who might not know you, to have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important in terms of leading you to where you are, and then we'll talk about incarceration.
All right. Well, Dr. Haney, I was born and raised here in Nashville, Tennessee, of course, and I guess my educational background, Dr. Haney, I did a little studies at Tennessee State University at the time, back in 1975. At that time, I became a drug addict while in college, and from there, I became an inmate because of my drug addiction led me to crime and all of that type of thing. And I ended up in the system. My education, basically, I got most of my education from the streets of Nashville, and therefore, because I've gone through the system and experienced a lot of things, drug addiction, drug selling, crime, and all of those types of things, and God has redeemed me and saved me from that lifestyle. Now I have a passion in my heart to go reach out and to help people to, one thing, prevent them from going into that way of life, and then also to help those that have made that wrong decision and are incarcerated. So that's my passion. That's why I'm here, you know. And I'm the president of the New Beginnings organization, and it's an organization that was founded in the Riverbend Maximum Security Prison. We operate on what we call the FUBU concept, you know, for us, by us, and that's what we do. It's formed by a group of inmates that corrected or resolved their errors in thinking, and as a result of resolving those errors in thinking, developed a desire, like myself, to give back to society the things that we have taken away from society, and to, of course, redirect the thought processes of those youth that may, you know, make those wrong decisions also. So that's what New Beginnings is all about. We've developed a program within the prison system. It's a 24-lesson curriculum that lasts for approximately 8 months. We're a state chartered 501c3 federally licensed, recognized organization. So we're doing some things, and we're thinking in terms of expanding what we're doing and building up on what we've already started out there at the prison now. And we meet every Saturday from 12:30 to 1:30, weekly meeting, and it's facilitated by one of the inmates. Matter of fact, Brother Cedric Booker is our facilitator at the institution right now. He's doing a great job facilitating. And he happens to be a brother. I just had to say this about him because he happens to be a brother that was an honor roll student. I mean, enrolled students on his way to college with academic scholarships and the like, and made some bad decisions, made some bad choices, ended up with a murder charge and doing a 30-year prison sentence. Just to say that, to let you know just how easy it is to get incarcerated.
You know, let's talk about this whole fact of incarceration. I think that within the next minutes that we have in this segment, let's look at it from the point of view of those who are involved. I mean, what do you mean when we talk about incarceration? I mean, what does that say to people?
Basically, to break it down to its rawest term, it's locked up. A lot of people don't realize what incarceration entails. I mean, we follow the criminal from the crime scene to the door of the prison system. But what we don't see are the cages that they're having to live in and the types of conditions that people are having to live in. We get a wrong signal a lot of times beamed from the prison system. You know, a lot of people think that they got TVs and radios and they're afforded all these luxuries and things in life, but that's so far from the truth. Prison is the most unnatural environment anyone can find themselves in. I was in that environment for almost 5 years of my life, and I know, exactly how that environment is. at any given moment, you know, you never know what you may face in that situation. So for somebody to be in that environment and then to take on to take the initiative to do something about correcting or resolving their own way of thinking, that's a plus right there. To live positively in a negative environment is a task. Very, very great task.
And so no matter how modern